Hey, old mate, well done. You're running 7th, Gareth, well done.
Morning and welcome to a sunny bit cold January at Hillsborough Park this morning. Thought I'd bring the GoPro along, take it for a little bit of a ride. Well, started off with good intentions, I promise you. So yeah, took the GoPro to Hillsborough Park yesterday. It is Sunday, the 7th of January, the day after Hillsborough Park run. But I looked over, just so I put my shoes on, as you saw in the video, and there were like hundreds of runners. And Hillsborough's quite a tight course in places, especially as you run past one of the ponds. So I thought, yeah, it's probably better off leaving the GoPro in the car today. And it's a good job I did, because I ended up running quite well at Hillsborough Park Run, and I'll go into that further in the video. Yeah, so as it's New Year, same old me. Yeah, I've been thinking this week a little bit about goals and goals for 2024, and looking ahead into the future. So yeah, applied obviously to enter a London Marathon for a championship slot. I think the deadline closes actually pretty soon, so those that are qualified for the championship time, sub 2:40 for a man, I think it's sub 3:15 for a female. Get your entries in soon. We have booked his hotel already for London, and then we also entered this week Valencia Marathon. So 1st of December 2024 we'll be doing a Valencia Marathon. So yeah, those are two big goals. Obviously want to improve my 2:25 for the year, and my lifetime PB over the marathon distance. So yeah, hopefully watch this space and see what I can do with some decent mileage. A bit of a purple patch of form lately over the 10k, enjoying my park runs at the minute. So yeah, it's a good indicator that I'm doing the right sort of things. Would like to improve, so for 2024, improve my half marathon time. And dip under 70 minutes for the first time. Obviously my marathon PB points that I'm capable of doing that. And then I'd like to improve my 10k time, just because it's a bit of a soft one of mine. But yeah, I did 32:03 at back end last year at Doncaster 10k. So yeah, I've got Dewsbury coming up next month before I start hitting the marathon block for London. So yeah, that'll be interesting. And then some personal goals for the year is we are doing a Barnsley 10k, so yeah, trying to get that in the calendar, organising that through work, but just because, and I just want a 10k in Barnsley Town Centre, so yeah, getting that one in the calendar and cementing that as part of being a runner, but also in my professional life, working in sport and physical activity. So yeah, that'd be quite cool. Would like to get me finally a 15:59 park run at least, just to put that to bed. I know that I can do quicker. So yeah, Hillsborough yesterday ran quite well, as I mentioned, and I'll delve into that as I go through my training week. Yeah, so week in training, had a good one this week. Tried to hit some pretty big miles as I've built. So it's been one of my biggest mileage weeks in a while, to be honest. Definitely the biggest mileage week of the year so far. So yeah, kicked off Monday with a Hull park run, so New Year's Day park run, a special one in the calendar to get under the belt, and just mindful that I'd done 4 Hull park runs in 2 weeks. So yeah, I weren't going to be knocking out a super fast time, so it ended up being, it were a little bit windy as well on Monday morning. Planned to run after. This week feels like it's gone really slow, but yeah, planned to run after with Mark Bizzle, who was one of the lads from over at Hull that I've got to know. He dressed as on Christmas Day, off Christmas Eve, dressed as a dinosaur, one of them big inflatable dinosaur costumes. Managed to cut his nose doing so. Yeah, so ran 10 mile with him after, but I clocked 16:16 at Hull park run. which ain't too shabby. 16-14. Into shabby. And yeah, felt quite good. For first time in a long time, all my Monday mileage came in the morning, which was good. So I clocked 16 mile for the morning with a 3 mile warm up and 10 mile after parkrun. And then that set me up for quite a big week. And then misjudged Tuesday. So yeah, I had 7 mile planned Tuesday morning, thinking the session on the evening was going to be like a 8 mile volume session. The evening ended up being 12.5 mile. A session after a parkrun wasn't a good idea, but I felt quite good this week. I think it helped that finally I've had 2 weeks off work sort of thing, or a week off work, made my legs come back a little bit. So yeah, 7 in the morning with Kai, because he weren't doing the session Tuesday night, because he'd been a bit niggly with his calf, so he decided to skip the sessions this week, because he was tapering a little bit-ish for Yorkshire Cross Country regional event at Lightwater Valley yesterday, Saturday. So yeah, 7 mile in the morning with Kai, and then in the evening it was 12.5 mile, so just short of 20 mile for the day. The session was 4 90-second reps on a hill, and then 4 60-second reps, 4 45-second reps, and then 4 30 seconds to finish us off. Yeah, it's a hill that we use quite regular. It's called GC's Hill session as a segment on Strava, so yeah, I know it quite well, believe it or not. So yeah, that were quite good with the gang. We had a good turnout as well, which has been nice to see people coming back into the sessions over the last couple of months, post-marathon blocks and stuff. And then Wednesday, mindful that I'd done quite a big Monday and Tuesday, had my car in for its MOT finally, and it passed. Just needs some pads on the front fitting and some new tyres eventually, but yeah, they've still got legal limits on them and stuff. Managed to lay down Tuesday when I got home from work and fit my fog light on my car. It's all I've spoke about, and Naomi's getting a little bit fed up me talking about it. So yeah, the Focus RS, which the car that I've got, the fog light in the rear bumper is a built-in full unit, so it doesn't just cost a £5 to replace a bulb, it's 250 quid to do a full unit. But I managed to do it on the cheap because I'm a cheapskate, and did it 40 quid for the unit, buying it from Hillier, which is the company that manufacture it for Ford. So yeah, felt quite good and quite accomplished on that. So, but don't start calling me an electrician. So Monday morning anyway, I ran 9 mile in the morning with Kai, and then went and dropped my car off at Ford, ran 1.5 miles back up the hill, the most direct way from where the Ford garage is near us, and then finished work about 4:45ish, and went the long way around to collect my car from Ford as well, so 4.5 mile. Ended up being 15 mile all in for Wednesday, which yeah, quite good, and made it a bit different because it was point-to-point runs. It is all uphill, and then it would be all downhill if I ran the most direct way back. But I did some loops in places. But yeah, that was quite good. And then into Thursday, ran a session in the evening on a Thursday. But then in the morning, slight cookie rant. The rules of the road, yeah, if you're a pedestrian and you cross the road, and it's a junction, like a T-junction, and you're crossing the road, it is your right of way. Well, a car driver didn't think it was and didn't know it was. So as me and Kai started crossing the road on the junction, a car came from behind us and zipped to go up the hill and beeped at us. So then both me and Kai, because we know the rules of the road, put his hands up in the air, so what are you doing, pal? And then he ended up turning round, pulling alongside us and shouting some explicits out the window. So then we explained to him, have you read the highway code? For those runners that don't know, it's your right of way. For those car drivers that don't know, it's the pedestrians' right of way. So yeah, we had a shouting match on the side of the road for about a couple of minutes, and he still left in a huff on, saying that it was his right of way, which is definitely not. He did say it was our fault because we didn't look, but in our defence, we shouldn't need to look because it is our right of way, and we're crossing the road. I had a bright orange top on, Kai had bright clothes on, so it's not like he didn't see us. I think he was just scared, and probably a little bit of poo came out when he was scared. So yeah, he decided to chase us down and tell us what he thought about it. So yeah, it kind of miffed me off a little bit. And there's like, I've done probably about 50,000 lifetime miles, and that's one of the first times that's ever happened. So yeah, you meet him every now and then. So I posted the photo of it on my Strava, which I'll pinch in now for you that want to know the rules of the road, and just to back you up when you need it. So yeah, that was that, rant over. But yeah, there's so many times I do cross out in front of cars when I am running, but I'm always careful and I always look. So yeah, wound me up a little bit. And then anyway, in the evening, went up to the new roundabout, the 450 metre loop, and did 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. Just wanted to sharpen the tools a little bit, if I'm being honest. Didn't want to do out daft. So yeah, a mile and a half warm up there, and then 30 on, 30 off gave me about a couple of mile. So yeah, I felt quite sharp doing that actually. We're knocking out some 4:30-ish minute 30 second reps. 4:30-ish minute mile reps. Did it for 10 reps as well. So yeah, it was nice to just get the legs turning a little bit. Mindful that I've got a few races coming up, but I want to keep the repetition and the habit of having that Thursday session as a staple, because that's the one that I've sort of got a choice on, whereas the Tuesday session with the gang makes it a little bit easier to do. So yeah, it ended up being 15.2 mile for Thursday. Then Friday stuck with my rule of 1. Back at work this week, so yeah, went 8 mile in the morning, car in London, so on my own. But yeah, legs felt sort of like I was running on clouds Thursday night, and then Friday morning sort of went over to Friday morning as well, so I'm thinking, can I hold this in for Saturday? So I've had quite a big week at this point. So yeah, mileage was always going to be over 100 this week. So Saturday morning woke up, ended up being 3 mile before parkrun, jogging around the streets of Sheffield, near Hillsborough Park, near enemy territory, Sheffield Wednesday's ground. And then stood at the car, looked over, there were 668 people, it turns out, on the start line. Might have been more, because there were a couple maybe that have dropped out of parkrun, but yeah, really nice to see. But very, very busy. Set off. There's a dog that does Hungarian, not a visitor, or a short-haired pointer or something like that. And he sets off like a rocket at parkrun. So picked him off pretty quick. But Hillsborough Parkrun is like, it's 3 laps. I'd say a quarter of each lap is uphill, so about a quarter of a mile roughly, and then the rest of it feels downhill or flat. So it is a very fast course. It was just very busy yesterday. Probably needs about 200 less people to make it habitable and runnable for people. There was points where, like, as a runner, you're saying on your left, well, keep to your left and pass them on the right. So yeah, that got a bit tasty in sections, but it's only parkrun. But ended up running 16:08 at parkrun, which is quite cool. Say it's not flat, it's about 150 foot of climb. It's not Hull flat, but yeah, it's Sheffield flat, South Yorkshire, the hilly county. So yeah, that was quite enjoyable. There was a young lad on my shoulder. Turns out he used to run for Barnsley SC as well. So it was nice to have some company. But yeah, glad I didn't take the GoPro, because wouldn't have wanted to have hinder when I ran that sort of time. But yeah, enjoyed it. It was busy, and did end up running into the back of someone that turns out I work with him. So yeah, he messaged me on Facebook after, and he apologised actually and said, sorry, I didn't mean to, because he did. I said on your left, and he stepped to the right. I said keep to your left, and he stepped to the right. He said, sorry, I didn't know my right and left, which is fine, it's only a parkrun. But yeah, enjoyed it. And then after, I ended up doing 7 mile down into Sheffield towards Neep's End, and a couple of laps around there, and then back up Neep's End near Kelham Island, for those that know Sheffield, and then back up towards Hillsborough. So yeah, enjoyed that. Spent a lot of time in Sheffield, especially when I were at uni, and driving down that road. So yeah, enjoyed it. And then in the afternoon we came back, Sorted out some clothes and stuff in the house and tried to tidy up a little bit, chilled out, and then went round to Taylor, one of the people in our group, to have a barbecue. So she's from South Africa. They call it a braai, and we had some very nice meat that her boyfriend Chad had cooked on the barbecue. Some steaks and some lamb and some chicken as well. So yeah, quite a basically South African delicacy. I said to Naomi, like, we're going to have to pull it out big and get some really good fish and chips or something like that when they or a Sunday dinner or a shepherd's pie. But yeah, we'll see when we have to return the favour for them. We might have to just get a takeaway because yeah, we're not that good at cooking. So yeah, that was quite an enjoyable night. Nice bit of social as well thrown in there. Also had on Tuesday night after the session with the gang, Hannah came round and we had a curry that Naomi made, which is actually quite good at curry, so we could do that. But it's not a British delicacy, is it? So yeah, that was quite nice as well. And then we've today 17.5 mile with the gang. So went up to Lady Bower Reservoir, Naomi's favourite place in the world, I think. So did a figure of 8 loop around Lady Bower with the squad. I ended up doing 17.5 mile. Tommy topped everyone this morning, and we had people going from 7 mile all the way up to 17.5. Most landed around 16, which is like a figure of 8 loop to the car park and stuff. And then some did 12. And then one of us did 7. So yeah, that was quite good. And then after we went into Fox Valley and had another social with the gang and just had a bit of lunch with them all as well. So yeah, running, as much as it is individual, I say this and I bark on about this all the time, it is a team sport, so it is nice to share obviously your time with people that you put yourself through pain with and you run these hard miles with, and just sit down and have some food. Because at the end of the day, not a lot of us, we don't drink, so yeah, spending it on other stuff. Unless you're Nathan Doyle, loves a pint, that lad. So yeah, sitting down and chilling out and having a bit of snap with each other is quite good. So yeah, it's been a social week for the first week of January, first week of 2024. Had 2 fast park runs thrown in there. 2 sessions, 104.7 miles. And looking forward to direct future, what 2024 is going to bring. We've planned next week to run on Leeds-Liverpool Canal, get another place in the bag of the places that we run with the gang as well. And yeah, got a few races coming up. So in between now and the end of February, so Tuesday night we're organising some track races with Barnsley AC. So yeah, 2 mile and 1 mile, and then we've got some coming up in February, a mile and 3k, and then we've got 5k and a 1500, I think, coming up in March as well. So yeah, they're on the Barnsley AC website for those that want to have a look. But yeah, next few weeks got Brass Monkey, Ferriby 10, Dewsbury 10k, Woolwell 5, all penciled into the calendar, entered. There's only one that I've not entered yet, is Woolwell 5. And then the 2 mile race on the track. So yeah, starting off thick and fast. It used to be at one stage that I couldn't find many races. In January, I'd only really do a half marathon and Meltham 10k. But yeah, I got at least 3 in now this month. Did say after Berlin, my first thing said is I want to race more. So yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing, just to get a little bit sharper. We are planning as well a parkrun trip out with the squad, going up to York, Knavesmire. So it's called York Parkrun. It's on York Racecourse. If it's on next week, because it has been flooded the last couple of weeks, with South Yorkshire hit by floods. So yeah, 2024 is off to a flying start. Looking forward, feeling pretty sharp at the minute, enjoying my running, feeling like I'm running on clouds, going through a purple patch of form, and just hope it can continue and stay a bit disciplined and focused as the miles start clocking in. Alpha Fly 3s were released this week as well, which yeah, I've looked at them, I've toyed with them, but 285 quid on a pair of trainers isn't something I want to be doing just yet, when I can buy 3 pairs of trainers. Valencia Marathon cost us 160 quid to enter each, so yeah, it's an expensive game, this cheap sport of ours, isn't it? So yeah, enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed my first 2024's edition of Cookies Rambles, and what is hopefully going to be an exciting year as we look at the 2 marathons and focusing towards them baby marathons, and them the bigger picture, as all the other little cogs fall into place. So yeah, cheers for listening. Just keep running, and I will see you next week. And I might take a GoPro to a park run sometime in the future, but maybe not when the January boomers are out there and there's a lot of people to manoeuvre around. So yeah, cheers for listening. See you next week and get some miles in. So bye.